when it comes to the academic space, you have experience with multiple institutions in terms of doing open source. Is that representative to the space, or do you see it being still kind of a challenge overall? I mean, doing open source in academia, like having, the course curriculum containing open source, at least teaching about it, or having students involved, or doing mentorship programs, summer programs, or during the semester programs. Do you have experience or knowledge about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know everyone in the space, but it seems like I can think of examples from both like small teaching schools and also like larger research universities that are trying to or have been doing work in open source and student engagement. I think that the different settings are very, very different. Like, I think that moving back and forth, like, between them has been like, I'm always doing like a mental reset of like, where am I? And like, what is like the language and the values and the story that is the right one to tell for this audience. So I think they are very different contexts with overlapping but different values and incentives. But the cool thing is I think that different things are possible in these different spaces. Like I loved being at a small teaching school because I got to have very personal relationships with my students. My classes were small. So for open source, that meant like very hands-on interaction, even in a credit class towards their major. It also meant like having a small faculty and a really agile curriculum. So like, like like it just took like 5 people before my time sitting down and being like, we value version control. Like, how do we do this? I mean, obviously a lot more work than that, but like the institutional agreement happens at that level.
Right.
Whereas I like, now being like at an R1, like that stuff feels like it takes more time and like, kind of making the case for certain things. But I also think being at an R1 means having like a tremendous platform to talk to people and like brainstorm and just have impact in a way that feels unique and very valuable. So I think that's part of why I am hopefully going to be teaching an open source catalog course this coming spring. Um, but that is part of what drew me to engage in mentorship in this R1 setting is that it's a way to still have those like close relationships and like really active style of learning within this larger research university context.
When you say R1, can you clarify the term just for people who don't know the terminology that well?
Yes, that's yeah. I'm not even sure I'm going to get it right. People just like throw these terms around in academia, and I'm not the most academic, but an R1 essentially is a sort of the top tier of research impact institution. So these are schools that sort of at this institutional level are known to be having research impact by like paper publication and citation and that sort of stuff.